the Braves.
That's going to be a fun series to watch. Hey, can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
Who picked the Braves to win the National League East?
You did.
Wow. And did they?
Yes.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Hey, can you go back and find out our picks when we picked at the beginning of the year, since you're here today?
I'll see if I can look for it for you.
See if you can look for it and find it and see how we did. I know I got the Braves right, and I believe I got the A's right too.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. There it is, right there. We looked right here. Jeff, you got the Braves right.
Did I get St. Louis right?
You got the Dodgers correct.
I did.
You got you also got the Cardinals right. So it pretty much means, Jeff, you got every pick correct in the National League.
Correct. And who did I say was going to be the wild card?
The wild card, you picked Cincinnati.
I missed the wild card.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I picked the Nationals, and I got that one wrong.
I picked
the Nationals to win the East, and then you picked the Braves.
Right, I picked the Braves, the Cardinals, and the Dodgers all to win their divisions, correct?
Yeah.
And you
picked the Giants to win the wild card.
And I picked the Giants to win the wild card. So I missed the wild card. That's the only one I missed, right?
Yeah.
In the National League, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's not too bad. How about the American League?
American League, you went with the Baltimore Orioles to win. I picked the Red Sox to win the AL East, so I got that pick correct.
One. Okay.
This was from our April 1st show.
Right.
In the American League Central, you and I both got the Detroit Tigers correct.
Okay.
And in the American League West, you picked Oakland Athletics, and I picked the LA Angels of Anaheim.
Okay, and what was the wild card?
Let's see. The wild card, you picked the Angels.
Yeah, nobody picked Cleveland and Tampa Bay, right?
Nobody did.
Nobody picked Cleveland and Tampa Bay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I got what? 2 out of 3, 2 out of 4 in the American
League? You got a
League.
lot of your picks correct there, Jeff, looking at it.
Yeah, I got 2 out of 4 in the American League, and I got 3 out of 4 in the National League, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
You are master of predictions.
That's not bad, right? I was just thinking about that last night. Since we'll have Sean with us, maybe we'll check and see how we made our picks at the beginning of the year.
And for the World Series pick, Jeff, you picked Detroit to go to the World Series and represent the American League, and then you picked the LA Dodgers to represent the National League, which is still possible.
How crazy would that be? How crazy would that be? If that happens, you people just leave me alone.
Well, I have to say, the Braves and the Dodgers, real quickly, in this series, I'm going to pick the Atlanta Braves. Right now, the Dodgers are getting a little bit banged up.
Okay,
I've been hearing that they've been getting a little bit injured.
I'm screwed because the Dodgers and the Braves are playing, right?
Yeah.
I want the Braves to win, but I picked the Dodgers in the World Series, so I got to go with the Dodgers. So I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, unbelievable. But that would
the playoffs are all set. I'm going to say St. Louis will win the series maybe in 5 games against Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a really good series, and I'm going to say Atlanta will beat the LA Dodgers.
How would you like to see a Pittsburgh-Cleveland World Series?
You know, I was thinking about that today, too. You read my mind there, buddy. I was thinking about that today, too. Pittsburgh playing the World Series against Cleveland, and 2 teams with long droughts. You got the Pirates, who have not won it since
You want to know something? There'd be one reason and one reason only why I would watch some of the World Series if that's what it was. And that would be to see if Terry Francona could get the Indians to win the World Series. That would be it.
Well, you look at what he did with Boston.
And I would have to pray very, very hard that Cleveland beats Pittsburgh in the World Series, because I made a prediction very early at the beginning of the year, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Didn't I? That Pittsburgh will not win the World Series, correct?
Yeah.
And I need them to get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs anyway for that to happen. But if they get all the way to the World Series, I have a feeling that we'll be seeing Wes a whole lot more.
Yeah, and that's a good prediction, too. Because, Jeff, what you're getting at is that if these 2 teams meet, you got the Pirates, who have not won a World Series since 1979. You got the Indians, who have not won it since 1948. And Terry Francona, did a very good job with ending the curse of the Bambino with the Red Sox and the curse with the Indians.
Anybody but the Pittsburgh Pirates. Come on.
Wes is just begging for a Red Sox-Pirates World Series, and that would be a cold World Series over there.
I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's begging for you that Pittsburgh against anybody in the World Series. He don't give a damn as long as it's Pittsburgh. You know that as well as I do, for Jiminy
It's been a
Cricket's
rough
sakes.
year for Wes.
Come on, he's not even. You know what? I bet you he's not even gonna watch any football on Sunday. Who cares about the Steelers? He's worried about the Pirates now.
Yeah, the Steelers losing and going to 0-4, and I know I was thinking of Wes the whole time. I was like, oh, poor Wes. I said, I just know for a fact that he's probably upset about the whole situation. So yeah, the Steelers 0-4, and I was saying it's been a rough year, huh, Wes? Because your Penguins got swept in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Bruins, and that's why he wants revenge against me. And the Steelers are 0-4. So the only team he has to cheer on right now, Jeff, is the Pirates.
That's it. And they're going to be swept in 3 games by the freaking Cardinals, so that's going to be that. Hey, I'm going to switch gears on you really quick. Yesterday, you sent me an article. And
yes, I did.
And I don't even have to bring it up because I had that article not written, but I know what it's about ingrained in my head.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me an article yesterday that the NBA, David Stern, finally, somebody is listening to this show in the NBA.
That's what you and I were saying.
Somebody is listening to this show in the NBA because the NBA has decided to take their 2-3 format in the NBA Finals and throw it in the garbage and bring back the 2-2-1-1-1 format. Thank you very much, David Stern. You're finally going to do something outgoing as the commissioner? Thank you very much. It's about freaking time.
And I know we'll get into more of this after the day, but I'm just going to say real quickly, I saw people on Facebook on like one of the NBA like sites or something. Actually, it's on a Celtic page that I like, and apparently people were saying, "Great move, smart move." And I commented and I said the 2-3-2 was a mistake from day one when Davidson put that in there in 1985. Smart move to finally go with the 2-2-1-1-1. Now, since they do it with NHL and with NBA, is it possible that the MLB could possibly do it? Because in the World Series, they go with the 2-3-2. And also with the League Championship Series, they do the same thing.
Yeah, but did Major League Baseball ever have the 2-2-1-1-1 fit in there at all for the finals?
Oh, my goodness. I do not recall. I don't think they ever have. I think it's always been a 2-3-2 format.
Well, I'm you know me, I am a huge fan of the 2-2-1-1-1 format. Huge fan. I mean, you do it in every other series, and then you change it in the finals? What are you, a bunch of morons?
Except for baseball, though, because I think for a long time they've done the 2-3-2.
I know. The 2-2-1-1-1 format is the best format. It's the fairest format around. The 2-3-2 format blows Donkey Kong. Okay.
Bottom of the hour. Ready for an update, too?
Yeah, let's do the update. This update is brought to you by BuyHuntingEquipment.com. For all your camping, fishing, hiking, and hunting gear and equipment, head on over to BuyHuntingEquipment.com. That's BuyHuntingEquipment.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the only update of the day.
Sure, Jeff. Thank you very much, buddy. And thank you for everybody listening in on Sports World Radio. We've reached the bottom of the hour. It is 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 4:30 p.m. on the West. It is Wednesday, October 2nd, 2013. Let's start in Major League Baseball, shall we? Last night, the Pittsburgh Pirates, for the first time since October 13th of 1992, they have won a playoff game. That means Pittsburgh will move on, and Cincinnati is heading home for a long off season. The Pirates will play against the St. Louis Cardinals, and Game 1 of the National League Divisional Series is tomorrow in St. Louis. Tonight, another wild card matchup. This features a huge game. It'll be Joe Maddon's Tampa Bay Rays against Terry Francona's Cleveland Indians. That game starts at 8:07 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 5:07 p.m. Pacific, and this game can be seen, just want to make sure I let everybody know, on TBS. That is where the playoffs will start tonight. Whoever wins this game will play the Boston Red Sox in the American League Divisional Series. Tomorrow night, as I told you, we know about Pittsburgh playing St. Louis. Game also on TBS, is going to feature the Los Angeles Dodgers at the Atlanta Braves. It starts at 8:37 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 5:37 p.m. Pacific Time. Pretty much all of the play will be seen on TBS. And also to point out, Fox Sports will also have coverage of the baseball playoffs. And another channel, for those of you that don't have the MLB network, you can catch that on the satellite. There will be some playoff action for the MLB network. A big headline coming from Major League Baseball, by the way. Joe Girardi. That's right, Joe Girardi. Apparently, the New York Yankees general manager Brian Cashman has said, we would, quote, we would like to have Joe Girardi remain as our manager. But another team has been expressing strong interest, and this is something we'll talk about after the update, and that would be the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs apparently have expressed interest in hiring Joe Girardi as the next manager of the Chicago Cubs. Dale Swaim, of course, was fired the day after the Cubs had another losing year. Theo Epstein says he's ready to get everything in order to hopefully put together a good ball club. We also have stuff coming from the NBA. As Jeff and I just pointed out, we were talking about it too. The NBA is getting ready to make some rules for the NBA Finals format. Since 1985, there has been the 2-3-2 format. After next year, the 2-2-1-1-1 format will be in play for the NBA Finals. The 2-3-2 has just not been big for NBA fans, and there are a lot of people that have not been thrilled about it. In the NHL, as you all know, the NHL season is back. That is correct. The NHL season, the puck dropped last night with 3 games that happened last night. Toronto Maple Leafs over the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 4-3. The defending Stanley Cup champion Chicago Blackhawks take the game 6-4 against the Washington Capitals. And the other game, the Winnipeg Jets over the Edmonton Oilers by a score of 5-4. Tonight's games, we got 3 games for the NHL. The Toronto Maple Leafs at the Philadelphia Flyers, Buffalo Sabres at the at the Detroit Red Wings. And lastly, the Anaheim Mighty Ducks against the Colorado Avalanche. And tomorrow there will be 8 games on tap. For the NFL, as we are moving into week number 5, tomorrow on the NFL Network, it'll be the Buffalo Bills taking on the Cleveland Browns. That is your update for Sports World Radio on this Wednesday. I'm Sean Mann. You, Jeff Eskow, who is host of Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to the show. That update was brought to you by BuyHuntingEquipment.com. For all your camping, fishing, hiking gear, and hunting gear, head on over to BuyHuntingEquipment.com. That's BuyHuntingEquipment.com. All right, so you said something in your update that we were going to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, one of the big topics we have, Joe Girardi has said that he's going to take some time to kind of rest and reevaluate what he wants to do. Cashman first said, quote, we would like to have Joe Girardi remain the manager of the New York Yankees for 2014.
If Joe Girardi leaves the Yankees for the Chicago Cubs, he's a moron.
Well, there have been some kind of rumors going.
He's got a better chance of winning a world championship with the Yankees than he does with the Cubs.
The Cubs are more in the rebuilding stage, and I don't know if Joe Girardi would feel right about going to Chicago because, look, the Cubs know they got to work on their pitching. Their pitching was awful this year. Theo Epstein coming in. Remember, left Boston after the 2011 season. So all of a sudden, he kind of feels that the best objective and the best thing to do is to make sure he can put a good team out there. The question is, would Joe Girardi be interested? Because you got to keep in mind real quickly, Jeff, Joe Girardi went to school in Chicago. He grew up there. So that's why the Cubs are probably saying, hey, let's just see if we could offer you maybe a multi-year deal or something too. Hard to say, though. Oh, by the way, our hockey expert, Ron Gallo, would like to come in.
I'm bringing him in right now.
Oh, gotcha.
How did you know that, dude?
Oh, we have our ways. It's the hockey man.
I think I've been serving a 5-game suspension or something here.
How many ringy dingies did it take you to answer the phone that time there, hockey boy?